You want to see my favorite knife? I have had this knife since late February, and it has quickly become my favorite. You can see there is some wear and tear on that clip. You can see even some of the finish is wearing off of the handle from A, being in my pocket, B, being, kicked across the floor or whatever. Listen to that. Let me give that to you again, right here. Yeah, that is what a knife should sound like when it is deployed. This is the Kershaw Blur Ken Onion design. It is overall, I measured it 7 and 15/16, I'm calling it. So it's just shy of 8 inches in length. The blade is 3 3/8. Closed in this position. It's about 4.5. This is a stainless blade. The shape of the blade kind of reminds me of a kukri. And an aluminum handle. That's 6061 T6. And this blade is hard enough to withstand some of my abuse. When it's really time to abuse things, when I'm opening bags of gravel with my pocket knife, I'm not going to use this one. I'll either just use a box knife, or I'll use my old trusty, dusty, rusty SOG Flash 2. That guy has seen some serious abuse. And you know what? It's still an awesome knife. $50, well spent. They have these in stock at Lowe's last time I checked. That's a great knife. That's not what I'm talking about today. This is an American-made product. I love the feel. These inserts, they call them Track Tech. It feels just like the bed liner of my pickup, which is not a bad thing at all. An important thing to me would be that they don't fall out. You can see the way I have the clip, I like it tip up, because when I pull it out of my pocket, it's ready to go. Some people will have it tipped down. It actually comes tipped down. Those are the other holes for the clip. There is no left-handed option, which disappoints me somewhat, except I don't use a knife left-handed, so it doesn't personally affect me. It'd just be nice to see the lefties included. Here's another knife that I wanted to show you while I was talking knives. This is a SOG Sideswipe. And it looked really cool. Also a Lowe's model. I think this one's 30 or 40 bucks. And when I first got it, I hated its guts. I thought, yeah, that looks nice. And then I started using it, and the cross bolt stud, thumb stud, button, whatever you want to call it, was too long. It was the widest part of the whole knife, and would hang up in my pocket every single time. Also, you can see I've removed the safety lock. That thing was evil, because you go to pull it out of your pocket and it would lock itself. Oh, a lot of good that does. Now I can't use my knife. I gotta go back here and fiddle with that, and then eventually get it to open. And I was so mad at it, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna cut that button off and pull that lock out. And frankly, guys, once I did that, I actually really dig this knife. It's not a particularly hard metal on that blade. I've had to sharpen it a lot. It will take an edge at least. I'll give it that, but it won't keep one for as long as this guy. This guy still has the factory grind on it. And Kershaw will sharpen your knives for you if you send it back to them. They don't charge you anything for that. Shipping, probably. I've never done it. I kind of enjoy sharpening knives, so when it's time to sharpen that guy, I'll do it myself. Kershaw, any coincidence? The MVP and Cy Young winning pitcher? If there was such an award for pocket knives, at least in my collection, this would be it. Anyway, this pocket clip is tip up, as I prefer, and it's even low. See the difference? Your pocket would be there, right? It sits extra low in your pocket, and I like that. That's one thing that SOG does really well, is their clips. Also, it's reversible for the lefties. See, if you're into that. Let's look at another knife that I've recently modified. This is a cheapo. I think this guy's only around 20 bucks. It's a CRKT, and it was in a previous video. It had one of those little back buttons that's in the heel of the blade, but it was a nightmare. It stuck way out. It had these aggressive serrations on it, almost knurling, that made it uncomfortable to use, and also didn't deploy it well. You'd push it and it'd open up about that far. Not good. The thing is, the stud works perfectly good. So why have a frustrating nub down here that actually, if you have, it means you have to hold it back here. You just lost a bunch of leverage. I know it's not a ton of leverage, but you can't hold it there. Not with that nub there. Anyway, that's gone. The other modification I did is I did some grinding on this frame because it was too hard to open. These guys were exactly flush. That's a mistake. You'd have to like mush the meat of your thumb in there to get it to open. Well, with a little grinding right there, yeah, I kind of like this knife. The one shortcoming, the clip is tipped. Oh, it's tipped down. That's not a complete deal breaker for me, but strongly prefer tip up. It just, that's the way you pull it out of your pocket and you're ready to go. And when you do that 100 times a day, like I generally do, maybe not 100, at least 40, you know, pulling it out this way, spin around in your hand, it makes a difference. All right, so there's that. I'm going to show you one more. Oh, by the way, this is called a M16 10KS, also sold at Lowe's, cheaper than that guy, also cheaper than this. This is 50. I want to say this is 40 or 30 maybe, and then this is a little cheaper still. Whatever. One more knife that I haven't shown you before is this CRKT Delegate. It was lost in my room for a while, in my bedroom. It had fallen down in between the bed and the footboard, and I found it one day when I was cleaning up. I'm like, hey, I remember that knife. This is kind of like your Sunday morning go to church type knives. It's really sharp looking. It has that burlwood insert, and then I don't know what the black stuff is. It's probably some kind of polymer composite type stuff. Also, CRKT doesn't do tip-up clips. I wish they did. But there is a safety on this that does not make me mad. And if you can see, you have to push that button in order to release the lock. But when I do it, I can't tell that it's really even doing anything. It just feels natural. I like this knife. It's not an expensive model. I do not remember how much I paid for it. I've had it for a long time. But I do enjoy it. I like how small it is. And, you know, when size is a factor, it's a pretty good package for how small it is. It just about disappears in your pocket and still has a decent sized blade. So those are some of my favorites. I will be on the market for a Spyderco next, and I will let you know how I enjoy that. That may not be until birthday or Christmas time, so it may be a while before I have one. In the meantime, I thoroughly enjoy this guy right here. It's just a winner. Oh, I was going to say one other thing about this. See the way that I cut that stud with a taper? It kind of copies this. I did that actually before I owned this, but it's obviously not as good. And if I knew I would end up liking this knife afterwards, I wouldn't have done such a sloppy job. I literally just grabbed an angle grinder and went to town on it. You know, I cut that thing off because I don't use that side, and I cut this one down into a wedge shape. And man, once I did that and got rid of that stupid lock, man, I like it. it gets some serious service time. I think it usually sits in the console of my truck as a backup. In case somehow I make it out of the house without a knife, I will always have that one. Anyway, leave me a comment below. Tell me about your knives. Thanks for watching.